In the name of the one who is the peace and give peace. Dear viewers, welcome to our program 50 Ways to Happiness. This is Ways 23. Understanding trials and calamities lead us to ease and happiness. On the other hand, lack of understanding of calamities and trials lead us to despair, hopelessness, and sometimes depression. So let me explain these 2 points. We know that all human beings, one way or another, would face difficulties and problems. So we have to be aware of this fact. And if we are expecting to have a smooth life all the time, that means we are ignoring reality of this life. From religious perspective, specifically from Islamic perspective, if someone faces calamities and hardship, indeed it's good for him, because it's mentioned in one of the hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that if Allah intends good for someone, then He afflicts him with trials. So if we are facing problem and difficulty, it doesn't mean that our Creator is punishing us. Sometimes it can be the case, but for a believer, that's not the case. Believer is the one that anything happens in his life or her life is going to benefit him ultimately. So understanding this point that calamity and hardship, trials can be a source of happiness and source of growth. So from this, what we can learn? Number one, we can use calamities and hardship towards goodness. And we know that whenever we are facing problem or calamities, if we calm down and think about it deeply, it activates our soul. And we know there are so many people, when they went to problem and hardship, the problem and hardship bring changes. So hardship, pain, enforce change. So if we see it from that perspective, it benefits us. But if you see calamities and hardship and difficulty with a negative eyes, then it weakens our ability, weaken our muscles, weaken our immune system to come up with solution. Number two, as I said, anything happens, there's wisdom behind it. We may see problem in our life, or we may judge face value, and we cannot see wisdom. It doesn't mean there is no wisdom. So anything happens, it happens for a reason. There's a good saying that anything happens in your life, it happens for a reason. Number three, unfortunately, sometimes lack of understanding of calamity leads to disbelief. And we know there are so many people that they abandon faith, belief believing in Creator, believing in the hereafter, it's because of the trial. They always question it. Why there are so many problems in the world? Why I am facing this problem? Why me? Why this is happening? This tragedy is happening in someone's lives or my life? Why I lost my loved ones? So these kind of questions can sometimes lead to disbelief, and people become atheists. So the best approach is to know that our knowledge is limited, and our God is a source of goodness. Anything He brings into our life, especially if you're a believer, it's good for you. You may not understand the wisdom, but it doesn't mean there is no benefit. Number 5, trials, calamities, hardship make us stronger mentally and physically. We know there are some people, if they have a smooth life all the time, they are so weak mentally. Any small thing can turn them off and push them away from achievements. So if we face problem, if we face calamities, we should understand that this is for our growth. We know so many people in the history that they made huge changes and they had huge accomplishments. They innovate so many beneficial tools. These people had hardship. So hardship can bring a lot of positive and knowledge into our life. So if you are facing problem, if you are facing difficulties, number 1, please do not lose hope. Number 2, do not think this is some kind of punishment for you. It's not. It's for your growth. Number 3, don't lose your coolness. Have patience and use these hardship, these hard times and difficult moments for your growth and for your develop, build your personality and for your strengthen your mind and your mental abilities. So I hope you will find this beneficial. If you do, please make sure you share this with your friends and followers.